Newscast.
Good evening, I am Tashon Tyson, in with your in with news package for today, Friday 20th September 2019. In our lead stories, nationally, Cabinet Ministers here in Nevis file with IPL Commission Declaration of Assets, and Nevis's Health Promotion Unit holds activity in fight against non-communicable diseases. Regionally, sentencing postponed for baby thief in Jamaica. Internationally, U.S. expels 2 Cuban diplomats to the UN in New York. And in sports, SK and Patriots beat the JA Talawaz by 20 runs in a CPL match. We'll have the details of these and other stories after this message.
Another look.
Different from how you've seen it before.
Another look.
Takes an in-depth look into business, politics, science, technology, religion, and more.
Another look.
Featuring documentaries from the BBC, regional features, and local ones too.
Another look.
Every Monday at 3 p.m. on the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse, Vaughan.
Welcome back, and on the national news in detail. Cabinet ministers here in Nevis have filed with the Integrity in Public IPL Commission their declaration of assets. The Integrity Commission here in Nevis, located upstairs the Ram Shopping Complex at Stony Grove, officially opened its doors to public on Monday, June 3, 2019. The Integrity in Public Life IPL Ordinance is an ordinance establishing the Integrity Commission in order to ensure integrity in public life, to make provisions for a code of conduct, to obtain declarations of the assets, liabilities, income, and interest in relation to property of persons in public life, for the offences and abuse of office, and to provide for related or incidental matters. The VON Newsline spoke with Nevis's Premier, the Honorable Mark Brantley, and this is what he said.
Today was a very historic day for the island of Nevis, as cabinet members, the majority of us, filed with our Integrity Commission our declaration of assets. We as a government had promised integrity in public life. We had promised to operationalize it. We have done so. The commission has been appointed. They have offices upstairs Rams Complex, fully staffed, and they have sent to us indicating that they were ready for us to file our declarations and gave us September 30th as the deadline. I am proud that today is September 20th, so we delivered 10 days before that deadline. Two colleagues, the Honorable Minister Eric Evelyn and Minister Brandy Williams, are abroad on government business, so they will file next week because it was a requirement that we file. We bring them in personally. And so my colleagues and I, the other colleagues and I, went here today, and I feel very good that we as a government have been able to deliver this.
But what does this mean for the people of Nevis? Mr. Brantley explains.
Of Nevis, that we are serious about what we say we will do. These declarations of assets will allow the 3-member commission. Recall that one is appointed on the advice of the Premier, one appointed on the advice of the opposition, and the chair, who has to be a lawyer of over 10 years. They will be able to look at these declarations and determine if they have questions, if assets do not match with income, if expenditure does not match with income, ask questions as the case may be, and would be clearly entitled to investigate any matter in relation to that. I would want to say to the public that these declarations of assets are not filed publicly for obvious reasons, to protect people's confidentiality, but they are filed with the Commission, and the Commission then would have considerable leeway under the legislation to deal with those filings.
The Honorable Mark Brantley. IPL Commission includes Chairman and Attorney at Law, Mr. Ricardo V. Keynes, Mr. G. Sidney Newton, and Mr. Alfred Terrell. Feet in the Street. That was the name of an activity held by the Health Promotion Unit here in Nevis today, Friday 20th September, as part of activities in observance of Caribbean Wellness Day. The VON Newsline spoke to Senior Health Educator and Lead Officer for the event, Ms. Chevany Nisbet, who noted that the activity sought to aid in the fight against non-communicable diseases, NCDs.
It was
was created to promote awareness for non-communicable diseases such as hypertension, diabetes, chronic kidney disease, and stuff like that. Basically, the diseases that are a health burden to us in the Federation. And so what we wanted to do is to create an exercise where persons have to walk more because we want them to be more active, as being active is one of the ways you can prevent an NC. So what we do, we block off the streets of Charlestown today from the Villa grounds to the end of the Samuel Hunkins Drive around the old Artisan Village. And we have allotted parking, and we're encouraging individuals to walk into their designated areas as opposed to driving in.
The health educator expressed that the unit has been receiving much reaction as it relates to the activity, most of which are of a sound response.
We've been having a mixture, but it's mostly positive responses. Some people are fussing about walking, but most individuals are happy that the initiative is taking place because they know that we have an obesity problem, we have an NCD problem, and so they're glad that this is initiated. And some persons actually ask that we do it once a month or once a year to keep it going because it's a good initiative. So we have been having more positive than negative feedback.
Senior health educator Chevening Nisbet. Caribbean Wellness Day was observed on Saturday, 14th September 2019. This year's theme is Healthy Aging Starts Now, which focuses on improving the quality of life of the aging population. The annual event is geared at increasing awareness and promoting activities to address non-communicable diseases, NCDs, which are recognized as a threat to one's well-being and continue to severely impact the health, economy, and development of Caribbean countries and territories. Meanwhile, the feet in the street activity was today cut short due to inclement weather. Lead officer of the event, Ms. Chevening Nisbet, who contacted the VON Newsline, indicated that the blocks were removed from the streets at about midday as it impeded the movement of the public in and out of Charlestown due to the change in weather. She thanked the general public for participating in the event and further apologized for the activity being cut short.
We just wanted to thank everyone who participated, thank everyone who cooperated with us and supported the event, and let everyone know that same place, same time, next year we'll be doing it again. So we're sorry that we couldn't continue today because of the weather.
Senior Health Educator Chevening Nisbet. The Embassy of the United Mexican States to the Eastern Caribbean states has extended congratulations to the government and people of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis on the occasion of its 36th anniversary of independence. The embassy reiterated the willingness of the government of Mexico to further strengthen the bonds of friendship and cooperation with St. Kitts and Nevis. In addition to the level of our political relations, the field of cooperation has been enhanced in recent years with important projects in areas such as greenhouses, knowledge sharing, coconut industry development, de-risking, and foreign trade statistics. The government of Mexico conveyed best wishes for the well-being and success of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. Since the establishment of diplomatic relations in 1990, the relationship between Mexico and St. Kitts and Nevis recorded significant achievements which bear witness to the strengthening of our ties in all areas. Meantime, several visiting dignitaries graced the Federation with their presence to be part of the Independence Day celebrations to mark the 36th anniversary of nationhood on September 19th. The visiting dignitaries included the Excellencies Priyo Iswanto, Ambassador of Indonesia, Marie Legault, High Commissioner of Canada, Ruben Raming, High Commissioner of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, Lonka Yangdini, High Commissioner of South Africa, Dr. K.G. Srinivasa, etc. During the toast to the nation, Prime Minister Dr. Honorable Timothy Harris welcomed the dignitaries and noted his honor to have them celebrate with St. Kitts and Nevis. He also used the occasion to thank the resident dignitaries. 2 healthy babies were born on September 19, 2019, making them the Independence babies for this year's celebrations. Shortly after the Independence ceremonial parade at Warner Park in St. Kitts, Prime Minister Dr. Honorable Timothy Harris, accompanied by Minister of Health in the federal government, the Honorable Eugene Hamilton, and Minister of State within the Ministry of Health, Senator the Honorable Wendy Phipps, visited the JNF General Hospital to join the mothers and welcome their babies into the Federation. The Prime Minister's visit is an independence tradition. Kishma Moore delivered a baby boy at 5:24 a.m., weighing 9 pounds and 7 ounces, while Arisa Davis delivered 1 hour later at 6:24 a.m. a baby girl weighing 6 pounds and 9 ounces. During a toast to the nation at Camp Springfield, Prime Minister Harris updated all in attendance of the good news and said both mothers and the children are in excellent health and we wish them well. Amid St. Kitts and Nevis' independence celebrations, an activist here on Nevis has issued a call to the public to unite. St. Kitts and Nevis celebrated 36 years of independence on September 19, 2019. Prior to that, on Monday, September 16th, the Federation celebrated National Heroes Day. Community activist here on Nevis is Mr. Samuel Williams.
Everyone needs to get on board for the country to move forward effectively. One should be free to choose their leaders or representatives without fear and intimidation. This is very important for the harmonious relationship of the citizens of this country. When all is said and done, we are still one people and will have to function as one body, irrespective of our political affiliation. I am still anticipating a better relationship with the government and people of St. Kitts and Nevis, because I do think that good governance accomplishes in a manner that is essentially free of abuse and corruption, and with due regard for the rule of conduct.
Mr. Samuel Williams. Resident representative of the United Nations Development Program UNDP for Barbados and the OECS, Magdi Martinez Solomon, has expressed his satisfaction with the drop in the crime here in St. Kitts and Nevis. This he noted at the launch of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force Incident Form Program held at the Police Training School on September 18, 2019. This comes as it was announced that the significant drop in crimes will help to secure and empower the people of the Federation. He added that the crime being so prevalent in the Caribbean with its negative impacts on economic and social well-being, this drop in the homicide rate is a major success that we are certain will be continued. He noted that it is important for these kinds of successes because tourism and foreign investment are regrettably quick on their feet and easily frightened, as they are the two of the most affected industries when there are high levels of crime in a country. Based on the weather forecast from the St. Kitts Meteorological Services, Hurricane Jerry is approaching the area and is expected to pass to the north of the islands tonight. Cloudiness and showers are likely across the Leeward Islands, Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico. Meanwhile, the rest of the region will experience partly cloudy skies with brief passing showers. Police are investigating an accident that occurred in the Needs Must area in St. Kitts, in which the driver was injured. A police communique says the incident occurred at about 7 a.m. on Independence Day, September 19th, and involved R259, which is owned by Courtesy Car Rental and was being driven by Dwayne Sabin of Utley's Village. Inquiries so far have revealed that Sabin was heading towards the roundabout when he lost control of the vehicle and collided with a section of the entrance at Flo's headquarters. He was transported to the JNF General Hospital in a police vehicle, where he was treated for his injuries and discharged. He sustained minor injuries to the face and a fractured wrist. Police investigations into the matter are ongoing. And finally, the Development Bank-sponsored St. Thomas's Parish Festival, SCT Fest 2019 Talented Teen Segment, was held on Wednesday evening, September 18th, at the St. Thomas's Primary School courtyard here in Nevis. 5 beauties vied for the coveted title of 2019-2020 Miss STT Fest Talented Teen Queen. The contestants were namely Miss Shamali Newton, Miss Shadia Mitchell, Miss Chantel Leslie, Miss Chalisa Paris, and Miss Dequandra Williams. In the end, Miss Shadia Mitchell won the competition, amassing a total of 581 points. Miss Shamali Newton copped the first runner-up spot with 551.5 points, and Miss Dequandra Williams took the second runner-up spot with 536.5 points. SCT Fest 2019 was held from September 12th to September 19th, and the slogan was "Keeping the Vibes Live and Supreme, STT Fest 2019. And that's the national news segment. You can visit our website at www.vonradio.com or check us out on Facebook at Von Radio or our Von Radio YouTube channel for these and other stories. News from across the region is next.
Life can be more fulfilling when we take the time out to smell the roses. And that's why your friends and family at the Bank of Nevis are experts at picking the flowers that best describe you. Whether you're planning to treat yourself after a long work week or finally getting around to that closet update, you deserve all the special things that life has to offer, and the Bond Visa card is here to help you achieve it. With just a swipe, you can turn a last-minute lunch date with friends and family into something worth remembering, with memories that will last a lifetime. Pampering yourself just got a whole lot easier, and after all, you deserve every refreshing moment of it. The ability to make your travel arrangements at your own convenience, whether by sea or by air, now rests within the palm of your hand. With a single swipe, the Bond Visa card can put a world of difference between life and truly living, whereas the only limit you may have is your own imagination. Apply today. The Bank of Nevis Limited, improving the quality of life.
Welcome back, and now this original news in detail. Out of Jamaica. The sentencing of Peter Gay French, the woman who pleaded guilty to stealing a baby from the Victoria Jubilee Hospital in Kingston on January 9th, has been postponed. Based on information from the Jamaica Observer, the new sentencing date is set for Thursday, October 3rd, as the judge who was supposed to hand down the sentence is unavailable. French was taken into custody on February 5th when she turned up at the Registrar General's Department in Twickenham Park, St. Catherine, attempting to register the baby. A subsequent DNA test confirmed on February 7th that the baby belonged to Sinclair Hutton and his common-law wife, Suzette White. Prior to the matter being transferred to the Supreme Court, it was said in the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court on April 25th that French lurked at the hospital for almost a month before stealing the child. According to court documents, French was first seen at the hospital by two witnesses on December 10, 2018. Out of Bermuda. Bermuda was bloodied but unbound yesterday in the wake of Hurricane Umberto, a Category 3 hurricane that packed 125 miles per hour winds at its peak, according to the Royal Gazette. The storm center swung 75 miles north of Bermuda, battering the island with winds that pried into roofs, knocked out power for 80% of homes, and clogged roads with branches and debris. In its aftermath, Wayne Keynes, the Minister of National Security, commended the true Bermudan spirit of support and resilience. At sunrise, a combined team of the Royal Bermuda Regiment, Works and Engineering staff, and Belco workers swung into action. Power restoration could take 4 days, Belco warned last night, but by 7 p.m., 16,448 remained without power, with 56% of customers restored. Asking for the public's patience, a spokesman added, "Our crews are making good progress, but there are challenges." Buses today remain out of service, and Mr. Keynes implored drivers last night to keep off the roads as work continued around the clock. Even as the Atlantic season's third hurricane churned north, Mr. Keynes said the Emergency Measures Organization would convene on Monday to assess Hurricane Jerry, a possible threat, early next week. Public servants in the British Virgin Islands did not report for work today as the territory braces for the impending impact of Hurricane Jerry. Deputy Premier and Minister of Labour Vincent Wheatley told BVInews.com on Thursday that these government employees can now utilize the time to ready themselves and their families in the event of a direct impact. Hurricane Jerry is projected to pass to the north of us, so just as a precaution, the government decided to err on the side of caution and get ready for it in case it changes direction. Wheatley said Friday's closure does not apply to essential services workers such as police, prison officers, water and sewerage workers, fire and rescue officers, electricity workers, telecommunication workers, healthcare providers, transportation service workers, and those from port services. In the meantime, Wheatley is urging residents to be prepared for the looming weather event. And finally, out of Antigua. There seems to be a bit of conflict between the police and Jahim Azul, the victim of a fight that left him fighting for his life. The conflict has to do with the number of boys involved in the incident, Antigua Observer says. The police public relations officer, Frankie Thomas, said that he had spoken to the investigator directly and nowhere was there any indication that there were more than 2 minors involved in the matter. These are the minors, according to Thomas, who have been charged with wounding with intent to murder. Jahim was admitted to the Mount St. John's Medical Center MSJMC on September 5th, suffering from bleeding on the brain, a fractured nose, and jaw resulting in all his bottom teeth being knocked out. When he was admitted, doctors gave him a 50% chance of survival because of his critical state. 3 doctors had to fly in from Trinidad and Tobago to perform facial reconstruction surgery and other operations on the 17-year-old who was unresponsive and on life support in the hospital's intensive care unit, ICU, at the time. However, Azo, who earlier this week defied the odds and pulled through, spoke in his first interview since the fight and claimed that it was indeed 5 boys. That's it for Original Stories. Stay with us for news from around the world. Welcome back, and now the international news in detail. The U.S. has expelled 2 Cuban diplomats to the UN in New York, accusing them of conducting activities harmful to U.S. national security, a State Department spokeswoman said. All of Cuba's UN missions are now restricted to Manhattan, where the UN is headquartered. Morgan Ortagus added, the U.S. has yet to provide details about the alleged actions. Cuba's Foreign Minister Bruno Rodriguez called the move categorically unjustified. Mr. Rodriguez tweeted in Spanish that the accusations were vulgar slander and said the expulsion has created tensions between the 2 countries. World leaders are set to gather for an annual meeting at the UN in just a few days. India has cut its corporate tax rates in an effort to spur investment and boost growth in the country's faltering economy. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said the base corporate tax rate would be lowered to 22% from 30%. The surprise move triggered a stock market rally, with the Sensex index jumping 4.5%. The tax cuts are the latest measures to boost spending and shore up investment in India. Under the slate of reforms, India will lower its corporate tax rate to 22% from 30% from companies that don't seek exemptions. Firms that do receive incentives or exemptions will see their tax rate cut to 25% from 35%. In addition, some new manufacturing firms will see their corporate tax rate lowered to 15% from 25%. Thousands of people are protesting across the UK, with pupils leaving schools and workers downing tools as part of the Global Climate Strike Day. Millions are taking part around the world with rallies in British cities, including Glasgow, Manchester, and London, urging climate justice. Students left alarm bells at 1 p.m. BST to raise the alarm for the climate. Energy Minister Kwasi Kwarteng said that their voices were being heard. However, he said he could not endorse children leaving school to take part. Demonstrations have also been organized in Cardiff, Edinburgh, Britain, Newcastle, Bournemouth, and Birmingham. According to the BBC, a protester in London explains why she is taking part.
I'm here because I believe climate change is a defining issue of our generation, and if we don't come up and fight for the policies that we want, for a Green New Deal, for educational reform, and for political empowerment of young people, our planet is on the line.
Finally, New York's Mayor Bill de Blasio has announced he is pulling out of the Democratic race for the White House. President Donald Trump tweeted on Mr. de Blasio's announcement, saying ironically that it was really big political news. Mr. de Blasio, 58, had launched his candidacy in May. In an interview with MSNBC, he explains the reason for pulling out.
I feel like I've contributed all I can to this primary election, and it's clearly not my time, so I'm going to end my presidential campaign, continue my work as mayor of New York City, and I'm going to keep speaking up for working people and for a Democratic Party that stands for working people. And I'll just say this. I talked to a lot of folks, including a lot of labor union members, who really don't feel the Democratic Party has their back right now, and that's a lot of the story of 2016, I think. Democrats not being clear, strong for working people. A lot of working people stayed home. Some of them even drifted away. We have a chance to get it right in 2020.
And that brings us to the end of our news segments. The latest in sports is next.
The TDC Home and Building Depots are celebrating our Sweet 16. We're giving you 16 days of super savings from the 9th through 28th September on selected products in almost every category you can think of. Be sure to look for our Deal of the Day and flash sale specials to give you more bang for your buck. Shop at the TDC Home and Building Depots and get 16 more reasons to celebrate in September. Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details.
Welcome back. Another sports in detail. In CPL cricket, an unbroken 94-run partnership from the 7th wicket between Fabian Allen and Kieron Cottoy set St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots on their way to a 20-run victory over Jamaica Tallowers, despite Glenn Phillips smashing 87 from 49 in reply. The summarized scores are as follows: St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots 176 for 6, Jamaica Tallowers 156. The St. Lucia Zouks will go up against the Barbados Tridents at 8 p.m. this evening at the Darren Sammy National Cricket Stadium, and on Saturday, September 21st, the St. Lucia Zouks will face the Trinbago Knight Riders at 8 p.m. at the Darren Sammy National Cricket Stadium. Still in cricket. During match 14 of the 2019 Hero Caribbean Premier League, both Evan Lewis of the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots and Ali Khan of Trinbago Knight Riders were charged by the on-field umpires with breaching Article 2.2.4 of the Code of Conduct, inappropriate and deliberate physical contact between players in the course of play. The incident occurred following the third ball of the Super Over being bowled by Ali Khan. Both players pleaded guilty to the charge and accepted the following sanctions imposed by match referee Simon Toffel, which are in keeping with the sanctioning guidelines provided for such breaches at Article 7.3 of the Code. Evan Lewis was charged 100% of his match fee and Ali Khan 75% of his match fee. In football, Barcelona did everything possible to try and sign Neymar this summer, but the thing his club, Paris Saint-Germain, never wanted to sell him, according to the Catalan side's chief executive. The Brazilian international was repeatedly linked with a return to Barcelona during the transfer window. The 27-year-old joined Paris Saint-Germain from Barcelona in 2017 for a world record fee of 222 million euros. We made a very big effort to get Neymar, said CEO Oscar Gua. Neymar missed PSG's first 5 games of the season as he attempted to seal the move back to Barcelona before returning to the side for last weekend's League One match at home to Strasbourg. The 27-year-old was booed by his own fans throughout the game before scoring an injury time overhead kick winner. He said afterwards that the crowd's reaction means every game I play will be an away game. That's it for sports. The weather forecast is next. Welcome back, and now the local weather forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis. Weather tonight will be partly cloudy to cloudy with a 60% chance or moderate chance of showers and a slight chance of thunderstorms. Winds are light and variable, however, gusts exceeding 20 knots or 37 miles per hour are possible in showers. Seas are 1.2 to 1.6 meters or 4 to 6 feet, with swells exceeding 5 feet. As a result, a high surf warning is in effect. Sunrise tomorrow will be at 6:01 a.m. And that's how we wrap up the Media News package for today, Friday, 28th September 2019. Before we go, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Nationally, Cabinet Ministers here in Nevis filed with IPL Commission Declaration of Assets, and Nevis's Health Promotion Unit holds activity in fight against non-communicable diseases. Regionally, sentencing postponed for baby thief in Jamaica. Internationally, U.S. expels 2 Cuban diplomats to the UN in New York. And in sports, SKN Patriots beat the Jamaica Tallowers by 20 runs in CPL matchup. On behalf of the rest of the news team, I am Tashan Tyson, wishing you a safe and enjoyable weekend.